I just got laid off from my job and that really sucks. I started my unemployment by getting good at the yo-yo, but then I realized I'm a game developer. I should be making games, and preferably videos about making those games. So I started working on a game to make a video on. Hey everybody, my name is Keith, and I make games. So what makes games fun? Is it the wild adventures that take us on, or the high-octane ways to travel through those adventures? Or maybe it's just the battles that we have along the way with our enemies, or even our friends? I don't know, I just do stuff around here. I don't know why you're asking me such an open-ended question. Everyone has their opinions, but let's try to answer that subjective question anyway. I feel like games are super fun when pretty much all of these aspects are present. I like going on adventures with crazy movement, battling whatever is in my way. The best display of these are old school shooters, in my humblest opinion, and going by the sales of Ultra Kill and Dusk, I'm pretty sure a good chunk of you agree with my assessment. I don't know if you know this, but I have a movement shooter of my own. Last October or so, I released a video on my game about being a badass duck called Quack, title pending. My friends actually like the name, so I guess let me know in the comments if you feel like Quack is an okay enough title for my game long term. I was going to call it Hudson because one of the ducks in the game is called Hudson, but maybe Quack is fine. It also feels like it slots nicely next to the names like Doom, Quake, Dusk, Wrath, Quack, Hudson. Yeah, I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments. Let's actually get into the meat and potatoes of the game. So I made this shooter where you fight zombies and with your points you buy movement abilities and weapons as you survive the rounds. Overall, I'm very proud of this game. Is it perfect? No. If it was, I wouldn't be making this follow-up. Some of you who are regulars on this channel might be wondering, why are we talking about zombies and ducks? I thought you were working on a pumpkin. And yeah, I am. It's just taking a lot more work than I originally anticipated, and I don't want to make it into a three-parter, so let's check in with Gio, my level designer. Hey Gio, how's the pumpkin levels coming along?
Are you talking to me? After you abandoned me to go play with your ducks?
Well, yeah, I know, but how are they coming along? See, it's going swimmingly. For real though, I really appreciate the support y'all gave me on the pumpkin game. It will come soon, I promise. But for now, let's get back to Quack. Because this game is subject to experimentation and crunch time, there was a lot of issues with the game that I guess weren't technically issues, I just didn't like them. It's not like I released 4 updates because the game was unblemished and beautiful. So what were the issues I had with the game? First, I just wasn't satisfied with the weapons. Don't get me wrong, I liked the guns that were in the game, but I wasn't happy with the guns that weren't in the game. They were programmed and modeled, they just didn't have textures, and that's the reason why they didn't make it in. It's very frustrating. What I also hated about the gun system was that you needed to buy the secondaries off of the red-eyed hat men when they showed up. Not only did you need to randomly find the hat man while playing the game, but you also had to hope that his inventory randomly selected one of the secondaries out of his 3 different slots. For reference, his pool had the ability to randomly pick 3 out of 7 items. Okay, looking at this in retrospect, theoretically there should at least be one of the secondaries in this story every time it makes a random selection, but I just don't care. There's too much randomness in there for my blood. Next, I just wasn't happy with the fact that there was only one enemy in the game. I modeled quite a few different enemies and just didn't have enough time to implement them. This had a really sad effect on the game because there wasn't much of a threat. You had so much area to maneuver, but not enough obstacles in the game to challenge your maneuverability. When in doubt, double jump and dash away from your enemies. Problem solved. It was even worse in the first iteration when you would just double jump and the enemies will go, huh? Where'd he go? Thirdly, I just wasn't satisfied with the movement. Again, I like the core idea of the movement, and when you upgrade enough, you get to the baseline that I wanted the player to start at. I had this weird obsession at the time to make the upgrade system start really low and have an infinite scale to the movement and duck properties. So if you played long enough, you'll get past what was meant to be the baseline and eventually go so fast and get so powerful the gameplay is pretty much nullified. Which brings me to my biggest issue I had with the game. The upgrade system. I just literally hate randomness in my games, and the entire system was built on being random because of some reason. I thought it'd be really fun to make my game very roguey. I know roguelikes are all the rage nowadays, especially with indie developers, but I just hate them. So why in the world would I choose to make one? Then I realized, I kinda just want to make a round-based Doom game with Call of Duty mechanics. So let's just make that instead. I actually started chipping away at Quack Mark II a few months ago while I was still hard at work at the pumpkin game. Quack was hitting some really big strides like my new weapons I was workshopping. My favorite of the new batch being the Clipper. It shoots laser blades and it's just so cool to look at, brother. Yeah, this is one of the coolest weapons I've ever made, man. The magma cannon and the rocket launcher were also really cool, but they don't shoot laser blades, you know? And they especially don't shoot laser blades. Alright, I'll see myself out. Aside from the new guns, I started developing new enemies. I made a new list of enemies that I wanted to really stress the player with. The enemy that made the most progress was my enemy called the Hunter. This enemy was easily the most complicated, but there's some wisdom to why I chose to work on it first. Yeah, this is a problem. I do plan on making it so the zombies crouch to get to you, but it'd be cool to have enemies who don't look dumb as hell while trying to get to you. Enter the Hunter. The idea of the Hunter is that it starts as a nymph, and if you let it live for too long, it'll evolve into an adolescent, and if you let that live for too long, it'll either mature into an adult male or an adult female. The female will pop out more nymphs while the males are just really mean. The only real part of this life cycle that helps with the issue that I proposed is when it's in its nymph form. And let me tell you, these things can look pretty scary if unchecked. About this time, I also started redoing the movement to be more akin to what I want it to be. This time around, I'm building it so that you start off epic in the movement department. This will mean that I need more enemies to catch the player in different edge cases, but I think that'll only make the game more interesting. I still have an upgrade system, but it's more like the stamina up in COD. Actually no, it's exactly like the stamina up in COD. I'm reworking the Hatman to play a better role in the game. The idea I have for the Green Hatman is he's going to have these summoner obelisks that will give you perks just like the Perka-Colas. I'm getting ahead of myself though. The movement takes severe inspiration from Quake. I added a more powerful bunny hop, and then I added strafe jumping. If you're not a makeup Quake player, you're probably wondering, what the heck is strafe jumping? Basically the concept is, when you're moving forward and to the side, you move faster. Pair that with bunny hopping, you go even faster. Then add an acceleration for when you move your mouse, and you make strafe jumping. So I just copied that and put it in my movement system. Alright, easy peasy, let's go. But while I was developing these new weapons, enemies, movement methods, and overall just getting excited about expanding my level, I discovered that my game had a very big problem. A memory problem. I did research and found that apparently doing casts and making references are not great for memory because it creates a bunch of dependencies, and those dependencies require more dependencies, and it just balloons until you realize that your assets take up so much memory, it's insane. So I had to restart from scratch. Kill me. As upsetting as it is to murk your project and then start over as if you didn't spend a buttload of time on the original, this actually was a blessing in disguise. A new opportunity. I have this course on online multiplayer that I've been chipping away at for about a long time now, a very long time. So I decided, why not follow along and make it Quack 2.0? Can you imagine fighting along other fellow ducks against monsters? We're gonna have to keep imagining, because I'm taking baby steps toward that goal. This course makes the core basics of deathmatch, so the goal right now is to make a PvP mode for Quack, and then I'll start on the Horde mode. I'm not going to bore you with all the boring C++ stuff, but just know that this is making me grow my big boy pants. This is my first big C++ project, so making this game, it's making me feel really cool and like a giga hacker hacking into the Unreal mainframe. Now, one of the most annoying parts about starting from scratch is that you have to deal with this mannequin lady. And I don't know about you, but I don't think that this mannequin fits the style of my game. So, get out of the way, Miss Quinn. There's a new T-poser in town. Actually, I don't like that T-poser. He's kind of lame. Actually, here's a new T-poser in town. Yeah, I made a new duck model. My reason for this is, well, take a look at this. This is what I found on the internet. Does that look like a hand to you? Yeah, I didn't think so. Yeah, Duck Game is able to get away with this, but this isn't first person, and you have to actually look at the hands, and I can't get across that this is supposed to be a wing, not a hand. But it kind of just turned into a flabby fat arm. Yeah, not really what I was looking for. So to rectify this, I decided to keep the wings. Then I decided to make robo arms to attach to the ducks. The arms actually help in two ways. For one, it looks so much more natural in handling guns, and two, I get to keep the wings to do wingy things, like maybe glide or, I don't know, other wing things. I wanted to test my game out with the duck character, but I can't really do that while he's T-posing. So let's give him some animation. Usually people in my field source their animations from Mixamo, but you know me, I like pain. I like doing things by myself. So I handmade all the animations. Every single one of them.
What? No way! Wait. Oh! Ah! Bing, 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 bing.
After getting the duck up and running, the next task was to make a new pistol. Now the keen among you would probably know that I already have a pistol. And no, I'm not trying to be redundant. Well, actually, yeah, I am. We're trying to make a bunch of new weapons so that I can make my version of the mystery box. Currently, I only have 9 weapons, and some of them need to be viable on the walls. So if you shove all these into a box, you'd only be able to roll between 4 new weapons. So I went and started designing, how much is there? 38 new weapons! Oh my gosh. Yeah, probably went a little overboard, but the more the merrier, right? This pistol is the standard issue, the starter pistol of the game. I'm mostly using this as a guinea pig to learn how to make FPS animations along with third-person animations, and one of the new kinds of animations I started working on were reloads. This is the first time I've ever had to make a reload animation, so yeah, it's a pretty big step for me. I was playing zombies the other day and realized that reloading is actually one of the biggest things that causes stress for the player. I do think that adding reloading will add intensity and realism, well as real as being a duck can be. We'll have to see how this affects the feeling and momentum of the game, but I think it's pretty cool. While working on the weapons, I decided to get some help from my buddy, Poly Knight. I mean, I would say go check him out, but I feel like people who watch my content has probably seen his work. I don't know, just a hunch. But go check him out anyway, he's a good friend of mine and he's been helping me out a lot. He's making some textures for my game and, well, as much as I like his textures, I don't think mine will ever be able to match up, but we will see. I appreciate the help, my friend. Okay, confession time. I know earlier in the video I said that I wasn't going to make the Horde mode just yet, but I couldn't help myself, dude. To be honest, it's like the whole point of the game, so it was kind of hard to just ignore the Horde mode. I keep mentioning this, but Call of Duty Zombies is just such a big inspiration for this game. You know what they have that I currently don't? Okay, a lot, but you know, let's start with my point. They have crews of survivors. Some crews were better than others, but they made up the heart and soul of all of the zombie experiences. So I made my own crew. Meet the core four. We got Sark, the militant, courageous leader who definitely wasn't inspired by Malcolm. Jenkins, the oldest and most experienced in the field, having lost his eye but not his drive. Deadman, the most mysterious member of the crew, having died and been brought back to life by scientists using unknown means. Azimuth, the newest to the crew, has the most to prove, and he is the brains of the squad. Together they are Strike Team. And name pending. I couldn't think of anything other than Strike Team. Okay, give me a break. So I was going to go into even more detail about how the map plays and what it's supposed to be like, but yeah, I don't know what happened, but I can't open the level anymore, and it's very, very frustrating. So there's really no point in talking about it because I have to start over, and that sucks. Which I guess is the theme of this video at this point. Don't be afraid to redo the work even though you've done the work already. Yay, that's such a fun lesson to learn. I love it. I love that lesson so much. But yeah, that's what I've been up to for the last 2 or so months. Between that and being unemployed, I'm making it work. I'm making it work, guys. I've been both super busy, super stressed, and super happy to be doing more of what I love. If you want to help me out though, honestly, like, subscribe, and share my channel to people who you think might like my stuff. I'm really happy about the progress my channel has made. I'm way closer to monetization than I thought I'd be at this point. It's honestly insane to me just how new this channel is and how I'm already almost at 1K subscribers. Thank you all so much. I really, really appreciate everyone who's supported me so far. If you want to help me more directly, firstly, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Secondly, I have a Ko-fi account you can support me through. Any bit helps. If we hit my next sub milestone of 5,000 or so, think about opening up a Discord for different developers and gamers to hang out in. So yeah, let's get up there, people. I want to hang out with everybody. I'm going to try and get quicker at making content, but making games and then making videos, yeah, that takes a lot of time, so I appreciate everyone's patience. So yeah, hope you all have a great day, and I'll see you later.